I just reminded myself that I was gonna make this video. I was I was looking at the Shade Room yesterday, and they had uh, a clip of Joe Biden giving this, whatever, the State of the Union address, and it just had the part where he was talking about funding the police, not defunding the police. Now, I think defunding the police was always a stupid slogan, although I think what do you want to call it? Redistribution of funds is probably too big of a phrase to put on a t-shirt. Or reallocation of funds, or funds being directed in another direction. That doesn't make a good slogan. You know what I mean? So, people went with the defund the police shit. And as usual, white people like to control both ends of the conversation, so they ran with that. Fox News did to death. Turned the meeting into we don't want any police at all. And, we are where we are. But one of the things that I noticed, and there were lots of comments like this, and I saw a lot of black faces in there, namely women, because that's typically who goes over to the Shade Room, but a lot of black female faces. One woman in particular stood out to me. It was maybe the fourth or fifth comment, and I was scrolling down, and it was I feel like I wasted my vote. I just threw my hands up in there. I'm like, bitch, we could have told you that shit. And I'm talking about all the woke conscious black people online, like myself, that said that black people need to vote as a block, that you're throwing your vote away, you keep voting for the Democrats, you keep jumping up and down. Oh, Donald Trump is racist. You know what I mean? And they're all racist, right? Let's just acknowledge that. But the party that has ignored your needs is the party that people say is for black people, and it's not. And I don't know what it takes for black people to get that. And the thing is I really shouldn't even dive into on this chick, because it's a young black woman, and I have my biases because I don't think black women think, and I think that they're emotional, and it doesn't change as they get older. But I also got to hold the task the older black people, both male and female, because I can't sit here and pretend like I've come across these wise, wisdom-filled older black men and women, the big mamas and stuff. I already know that they don't know shit from piss. You know what I'm saying? And then the old black men, you know what I mean? They just they think that they're talking something just because they're old and male, but they ain't talking shit either. And then when it comes to my black female peers, they're just younger versions of older black women. Black men, young black men, were the largest group that did not vote Democrat in the last election. The largest demographic. I'm not saying it was the majority of us. I'm saying out of all of the demographics of black people, young black men were the only ones that know what's up. Everybody else, on some coon shit. Everybody else tap dancing and, oh, yes, Amasa, oh, we just going to vote for you, thinking that they're going to see some change. We already knew that we weren't going to see any change. Because as we've been saying, we are the ones that are most negatively, disproportionately affected by this bullshit. And black male bodies are only used, as the currency for all of these, movements. But it's we can't even speak for ourselves. And then we do, and we say we're going in another direction. People got problems with that. I'm like, am I not the one that has the face of what you're wearing on your goddamn t-shirt? I think I know what the fuck I'm talking about. But it's not the way it's seen. It's not the way that it's interpreted. It's like black men, they don't know what's good for themselves. And we're sitting there saying, hey, this ain't working. And everybody, and the thing is everybody else has their own little bullshit agenda in there. I know some women will jump up and they'll sit there and they'll say, well, we don't care about defund police because the police are killing are killing black men, and they're not killing black women, and bullet bag this and bullet bag. You know the coon types, the divester types. You already know that. You know what they're gonna say. So you have the different factions in here who think that they're going to get their slice of the pie. Whatever, the liberals say that they're for women empowerment and, feminism and all that other shit. That's really what the majority of black women felt that they were voting for. But there's some folks that are waking up and they're like, man, this is really an affront to, black people. And then you get the people that, again, the people that, talk some damn sense and get it. You know what I mean? Like, you can't separate yourself from the black man and the black woman. There's black men out here with black daughters. There's black women out here with black sons. So anytime you get anybody that gets into, like, the extreme corners of, the hate speech and shit like that for the opposite gender, you shouldn't even waste your time with them. Anybody with eyeballs can see the track record of the Democrat Party over the last, 50, 60 years. Okay, black people, you keep voting for them. You haven't demonstrated to anybody that your votes are not for free. That nobody has to address your issues because you're a one-party group. You keep voting for the same people every time. You know what I mean? You walk into the restaurant and the waiter already knows what to serve you. You don't even have to determine or say I need to see the menu. He already know, because you're going to come in there and you're going to order the same thing as you do every time you come into the restaurant. So, and then if you complain about the food, it's too late. He already billed it up because he knew exactly what the bill was going to be, because you get the same thing every time. So he's already got your money. You know what I mean? Like, it just, I don't know what we don't get about it. It just, all these black people, like, it's like they go out here and they do the same thing over and over again and then expect different results. And then they have the audacity to make a post or make a tweet sitting there talking about, I feel like I freaking wasted my vote. We tried to tell you that before, you big dummy. We tried to tell you that shit before. How many videos, how many people have been posted videos? One off the top of my head is Professor Black Truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one off the top of my head. Myself, and I know some other brothers with smaller channels were like, yo, we need to vote as a block. Stop voting for the Democrats. They haven't done anything. What's the other, Hip Hop News or something like that? His channel. There's a bunch of brothers that have spoken against the fact that Democrats ain't doing shit, and we don't hold them to task. We don't hold them accountable. We don't say, you didn't do what I wanted. Okay, you won't be getting my vote in the next election. No, we don't do that as a group of people. And unfortunately, we still got young black women, old black women, and old black men that as young black men, that's 3-1, right? What can we do against that? What can we do against those odds? There's not really much that we can do against those odds. You know what I mean? So, it's just frustrating, when you're trying to convince people, and it's like, you already said it, you already nigga-damas the shit to death, and you're literally reading comments of what the fuck you said was going to happen. You're literally reading, I was like, oh, do you see it now? Do you see it now? What is with black people that gotta touch the stove to know that it's hot? I'm like, can't you see that bitch is red? You still gotta touch it? Oh, I just wanted to test it out. You licking your finger and still touching the stove. I'm like, you're wasting time. You're wasting time. But it's like, you can't convince these people of that shit. I'm like, what are you doing? It just makes no sense. I'm gonna have to get something to eat because I am freaking starving. But yeah, I just wanted to speak on that because I saw that comment jumped out at me. I feel like I wasted my vote. I'm like, we done been told you that, and then the rest of the comments were just a whole bunch of black people just boo-hooing and moping and all that. And it was more boo-hooing than people saying, I told you so. I should have saw more comments of black people saying, I told you so. But again, Biden won. So, and again, black people went out there and voted for Biden, 80, 90%, whatever the fuck they voted for Biden at high percentages. So you're not going to see a majority of people. You're not going to see a majority of people who, who are going to smack down the Biden train. You're just not. What is that? But I don't know. It's just frustrating because it's like wasted time, wasted an election. You know what I mean? The Democrats. I mean, that's a whole 4 years, possibly 8 years. You know what I mean? Like that. Like that's prime time for you. 8 years. You know what I mean? Let's say you're 20 and then your president is there for 8 years. By the time you're 28, like these are the prime years. So basically, you only get really 2 elections to where it really matters for you as a young person, because most presidents do the whole 2-term thing. You know what I mean? So you talking what is that? 2 elections. So that's 16 years. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what you're looking at, of just gone. Because Obama got in, and then Trump got in, and now Biden's in. You know what I mean? And it's like, black people, they could have shut that shit down. Let Trump win, and Trump win big, and let Biden lose hard, and the Democrats would have been freaking the fuck out. And black people, we should have been standing there talking about, I told you to stop fucking with me. I told you to stop playing with me. I told you it wasn't a fucking game. You know what I'm saying? And then they would be scrambling. They'd be trying to, they say, well, fuck you, black people. We'll go and get the Asian and the Hispanic vote. And we should have been like, and you go do that. And you go do that. And they would have went up there and, tried to come with all type of shit. Shit, they're doing it now. Even after black people still voted for him. Oh, Asians, do you need a COVID bill? Oh, Asians, do you need some business relief bills? Oh, we got you, even though you didn't vote for us. Black people are like, what about us? Fuck you niggas. Fuck you niggas. What about us? It's like, I told you ain't got shit coming to you. You gotta see, that's how, in other words, that's how hard you have to let the Democrats lose. You gotta let them lose hard. You gotta literally make the black vote evaporate. Like, it doesn't even exist. Like, they're looking at the polls like, but where are the black people? They didn't vote. They didn't vote at all. Wait. They didn't vote. Oh, well, black people, there's low turnout. They don't vote anyway. But, I mean, you gotta bring it down to literally nothing. Nothing, where it's not a mistake. They're looking at the data. They're like, wait a minute, there's like 41 million black people. We didn't even get a third of the vote. Like, what did they disappear? Yeah, because you're not addressing our issues. Why should we give you our vote? You gotta let the other side win. You gotta pick a side, like, to let win. You're either for Putin or you're either for Ukraine. You gotta let a side win. And the same thing goes for the Democrat-Republican situation. You got to let a side win. You got to send Democrats a message. This is not about co-signing the Republicans. It's about sending the goddamn Democrats a message. Told you stop fucking with me. Told you it wasn't a game. But it's like, black people, we don't get that. We keep going out there doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. They can take our vote for granted. And shout out to Stephen A. Smith, because Stephen A. Smith was the first person to publicly state that shit on television, unless you want to go all the way back to like the 60s and Malcolm X and stuff. But Stephen A. Smith in Modern Times was the first ones to say black people need to stop just giving the Democrats freebies. Stop giving them freebies. You need to make them pay. But we for some stupid reason, we refuse to freaking do it. I don't know why. I don't know why we struggle with this so much. We refuse to do it. So we pay the consequences. Nothing gets done. They have a whole bunch of empty promises. You don't hold them accountable for the empty promises. You said you were going to do this. Like, there was one comment on the Shade Room that was like, he didn't understand the assignment. No, he understood the assignment. He just wasn't going to do it. Which is, again, what the fuck we tried to tell you niggas. But y'all just, we can't let Trump win. Trump is racist. He's empowering the white supremacists. And so the fuck what? The white supremacists are here. They've been here. They're not going away. You're sitting there. You act like because the white supremacists aren't woo-ha in your face, Busta Rhymes style, that somehow that means that they don't exist. You know what I mean? No, these are like the white supremacists. When Trump was in office, white supremacists are like cicadas and shit. They come out the ground every whatever decade or whatever it is. The cicadas come out the ground. You know, them bugs with the shells that climb the tree and then they leave their freaking exoskeleton on the damn tree. Those damn things. You know what I'm saying? Like that is what Trump did with the white supremacists. All the dog whistles and shit like that. And like I said, I feel black people could have got more out of Trump than anything else, because Trump ain't really loyal to anything. He just a demagogue. He just wants to be liked and shit. You know what I mean? He go up there. That's why he's entertaining Kanye West and shit like that. I would have been sitting up there with my MAGA hat talking about, yes, Donald Trump, the blacks love you. And he would have got up on the mic and be like, yes, the blacks love. See, the blacks love me. And I'll be like, we sure do, Donald Trump. Donald Trump, we got this bill right here for funding of HBCUs, or we got this bill right here for a federal housing act for specifically for African Americans. We got this bill right here for loans at low interest rates from banks for black businesses. We got this bill right here. We're wondering if you could sign. Remember, Donald Trump, the blacks love you. He's like, yeah, that's right. The blacks love me. Where's this bill at so I can sign it? Yes, I want Republicans to pass this bill right now. Republicans would have been looking at Donald Trump like, nigga, what the fuck? But Donald Trump would have been like, but the blacks love me. So you're going to sign this bill because the blacks love me. Yeah. I'd have been like, yup. And would have been smiling my ass, all the way to the bank and all the way to the damn realtor and shit like that. But no, black people, no, he said some racist things that I didn't like and I felt uncomfortable with. I'm like, oh my God, here we go. But anyway, I'm pretty much done with this video. That's my video. SWP out.